what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday, April 17th, and here today we begin a brand new video series of toy room updates. These updates will consist of one toy line, possibly two per update, and they will also showcase a particular area of this toy room as we begin to set things up. Essentially, over the course of time, you will see every part, every bit, every nook and cranny of this toy room as we begin to fill it. That will lead into the eventual room tour, which who knows when that will be, considering how fussy and insane I am. You will get to see all of the insanity that floats in and out of my head as we set all this stuff up. It should be a lot of fun. With that, let's flip the camera around and begin with toy room update number 1. As you can see, the room is looking very similar as it did just a week ago. It's only been about a week. The last you saw it during the toy room reveal. And today's focus and update is going to be on this wall right here. But before we get into that, I did want to go over a couple of general updates. There's been a lot of cannibalizing happening in this room over the course of the past week or two. The firehouse being an example of that. I have 2 firehouses. I did swap out a couple of parts and I cleaned the living crap out of this thing. A true labor of love. This roof was a huge pain to clean. A huge pain to clean. These wood grains, those panels in there, to get hardened dust out of there, it took me a week. Several passes to get that out. I'm really happy with the result though, especially with the facade here, the front facade of this building. Got a lot of gunk and grime off of that. Came out great. And I replaced this fire pole and spinner. Shout out to my buddy Chad Plouffe, who pretty much told me don't be a wuss, swap it out. So that's what I did. The other update I wanted to provide to you guys is something I'm looking to do with these windows. And that will actually, this will lead into the main update and whole point of this video. But I plan to put my Karate Kid box, as you see here. I plan to keep it right there. I actually have a mintier one sealed, so that's not staying by Batman. So I plan to put that box right here. I think loading these windows with bigger pieces of box art that also happen to be some of, if not my absolute favorite, pieces of box art. This is a top 3 box for me. I think it would look really cool. And I really like how this does look. However, as you can see, there's a good inch plus of overhang, and I want to fix that. And I think the way I'm going to fix that is by removing the levers here. It's just a Phillips head screw in the back. That will free up like an inch or two. I mean, it'll free up several inches if I have, if I'm stupid and I just keep the levers positioned poorly. But even if I move this thing like up a bit, that's still, looking at it from this angle, it's a good inch or so that I'll get back by removing that thing. It's just a Phillips head screw right in the back. So the plan is to remove that and have that box sit flush in there. That box is close to 10 inches deep. So I think it'll look really, really cool to have that, set in nicely. And I have a plan for this window that you're looking at right now, which we will get into shortly. But this wall right here that we're looking at, this is going to be the wall that I plan to use for, if you haven't figured it out already, my LJN AD&D collection. Now, initially when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to put on these pedestals before this room was even built, you know, of course I started thinking a lot about what I wanted to put where. And this particular wall for me was challenging because of that window space. There, of course, are plenty of things that I wanted to actually put on the pedestals, so that was where my mind first went. You know, what do I want to display out in the open? And for me, I like to keep things themed. So I'm not going to put, you know, my Tiamat next to Danny LaRusso or the Incredible Hulk. So I want to split things out in a way that makes sense to me. So what can I put in on these pedestals? And then the additional challenge for me was, what the heck am I going to do with that space? It's obviously space for additional things, which is what I wanted it for. That's why these custom boxes were made for the windows, which is great. But what am I going to do with that? I'm not going to put posters, for instance, behind Tiamat, or, you know, a poster behind Tiamat and then off-centered a poster behind, you know, Fortress of Fangs or whatever the heck I put there. That would just look terrible and make no sense and look overcrowded with the window. So once the room was built, I came down here. Tiamat was the first thing that I brought down because I had some sleepless nights thinking about installing those friggin' wings. So that box and that Tiamat, I wound up getting off eBay for a steal at auction over a year ago for like $1,000. It was something crazy. But anyway, installed the wings, which I'll show you guys right here, which was a harrowing experience, but we did it. I also cleaned a ton of dirt off this box. The box looks great. And this is not a box that is easy to come by. When you find it, it is usually mangled to hell. So I was very happy acquiring that piece, this piece, I should say, for the price that I did. However, it's been busy the past week. Same situation. Brand new, complete, unopened, but open box, Tiamat on eBay. And I definitely paid for this one, but totally worth it. The box is absolutely mint. I don't plan to actually take that Tiamat out of the box. I'm going to keep my loose one here and just use the other box that should be coming today, waiting for UPS. That will be replacing the box that you see here. So I am very excited for that. And, you know, I've mentioned to you guys over the course of the past 2 years consistently, the reason that I am focusing down my collection and collecting is so I can really pick up and acquire the perfect pieces and the best pieces for me in the best condition possible. And so I'm happy to spend and pay a premium on something like what I just mentioned to you guys to have that in the collection. So especially with, you know, the LJN AD&D line is such a colorful line. The box art is incredible. You know, high fantasy is my thing. So really, and it's just not something you come across every day or really even at all. So I'm very excited to share that with you guys. You'll see that soon. But as you can tell, there's water damage throughout this box. And that's kind of what bugs me. So that box, this box here is already sold. My buddy Blue Ridge Toys and Comics is taking it. But so anyway, I wanted to put something on these pedestals that made sense. I wasn't going to put something tall because then, you know, visually it'll then intersect the bottom of the window there, and I didn't want that. So setting up Tiamat with the box here is perfect. The box acts as you know, a poster, if you will. That is the art right behind it. And it fits in and centers perfectly with the wall. At least I think that it does. So I like the idea of having Tiamat here. That was, excuse me, that was, I'm breathing in 40-year-old hardened dust everywhere. But that was the idea. And that was really the start of, hey, do I want to put my LJN AD&D stuff on this wall? But I wanted to also, I have a lot of high fantasy art that I wanted to display. And something that we won't see today in this particular update, but I'm going to put my Dungeons and Dragons poster from the 80s right there on that wall. And I have a Keith Parkinson EverQuest Runes of Kunark signed art print, which is a very rare piece. Anyone that's familiar or not with EverQuest, Runes of Kunark was the first expansion that came out in 2000. That's what got me into EverQuest. My senior year of high school, very, very bad timing for that, but soaked up many years of my time. But, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The best MMO ever made, if you ask me, but I digress. So Keith Parkinson, rest in peace, has created some wonderful art over the years. He did several EverQuest game covers. He's done Diablo covers, really cool battle scene. I would say battle scene art, when it comes to that, it's pretty unmatched. So I'm going to put some art there, which I think will be perfect. And on these pedestals, I don't think I'm going to keep Tiamat here. I'm going to put my Fortress of Fangs where Tiamat is. I'm going to put Tiamat where this whole dismantled Fortress of Fangs situation is. And above that, in that box insert, I am going to put the Fortress of Fangs box, which I have coming. It should be here by tomorrow, I think. So that has been something, top my list of things to acquire. Again, shout out to my buddy Chad Plouffe. He's very good at spending my money. I don't have Facebook, so he does. There was a Facebook Marketplace listing and last week, and he sent it to me, and I was like, oh my goodness gracious. The box is mint. The box and the playset is like straight out of the 80s. It was assembled 40 years ago and completely untouched, put away, stored in a closet. So good deal. You know, $1,200 for the whole thing. Everything is complete. The box, the instructions, the original sticker sheet, all of it is on its way here. So I was hoping to score that and come across it. I mean, whether any show that I go to at Toylanta, which we saw a banged up one at our friend Blue Ridge Toys and Comics in his booth. So it's just cool. It's just cool to see the box. Again, similar to Tiamat, you just don't see it often. But this one that's coming is mint. I am so excited for that. So the plan is, and what you will see at some point towards the end of this update video, Fortress of Fangs in that box right there, the box in a box. That's what's inside the box. Fortress of Fangs, Tiamat, and I think I'm going to put, I have the Good Destrier box set. I also have Good Destrier box as well. I think I'm going to put my mounts in this corner on this display. I think that would be pretty cool. And then art that you're not going to see here today. I don't know what I'm doing with that pedestal yet. That might be for something else. It might actually be for Black Star at some point. I do not know. Now, taking a look at what's on this pedestal, as you can see, a dismantled Fortress of Fangs. I have two. And as I just mentioned, I have a third one coming. I'm looking to put together my ultimate Fortress of Fangs. This thing is tough to find complete, and it is always in rough shape, whether it's the stickers, the actual chassis itself, any and all of its parts. This was actually the Fortress of Fangs. If you watch the toy tour of the room, this is what was assembled. I cleaned it. Again, this was something that took me 6+ hours to clean. Looks really good. You can see there's a little lift here on that eye. Not a big deal, not really going anywhere, and a super easy fix with a little, you put a little Elmer's school glue on your finger, and you can just get under there. Very little thin, like just a film on your finger of it. And, you know, that should take care of that. But so this is actually considered the roof, if anyone's familiar with the instructions of the Fortress of Fangs. This is considered the roof. This is considered the ceiling. This goes underneath this piece. So you'll see the one that I'm actually, the top part that I'm using, we'll get into that shortly. But so this is actually just the top piece dismantled. And one thing that I did not realize, and I wouldn't have known if I didn't take it apart, is the ceiling here actually has 2 broken pegs. Now this does not, for anyone curious, this does not, it clearly has no effect on display. As I mentioned, this is what you guys saw in the previous room tour video, but knowing that there are broken pieces to this, so it was a pretty easy decision for me to, and knowing how crazy I am, it's a pretty easy decision for me to pass on using this particular ceiling. So that's that. These are extra parts that I won't be using as well. The spiked wall and the trapdoor and a couple of the stalactites. And down here, this is the top of the playset that I will be using. Still in the midst of cleaning it, but almost done cleaning it. I just freaking put the screws to this thing today. A major pain in the ass. Major pain to do this. So this thing is a combination of screws. You've got 6 screws on the bottom, 2 on the top, they're on the back side that screw into the base. But it's a combination of screws and plastic pegs. And in the back, it's screwed in now, so I obviously can't show you, but in the back there, you know, in between, you see the seams, there are plastic pegs similar to the ones that I just showed you that were broken off, which you can also find in the front underneath. The 2 in the back just did not want to come loose, and I didn't want to break it. So I had to put everything, I had to reassemble everything with the cover like 2/3 off. So getting the catapult here, and along with the catapult lever, which you see here, getting that in place with one hand with the thing like half up was just a disaster. That was a disaster. Getting the trapdoor back in wasn't a big deal. Putting the axe back in was easy. It just sits like right across the top. Inside in there, there are these 2 these 2 pieces of plastic that protrude down from the top of that outcropping. That was pretty easy to just put in, but getting these 2 pieces in, they're separate pieces. So this thing is a long piece that extends out to that molded piece of rock, which lays across the top of the ceiling here. And this is a separate piece that you have to fit in as well. So like I had to, so it is possible to just take both, to take both pieces with one hand, slide them in, set them in gently, and get everything in place and kind of like slip your fingers out and close this thing down all at the same time. It is possible. And that's done, and it's screwed in. I'm gonna go ahead and finish cleaning it up a bit, and it's looking good. So this is gonna be the top that I use for my Fortress of Fangs. And this could be the bottom that I use. This is also the base from the room tour. Looking good, the stickers are nice. This is the base off of the Fortress of Fangs that I picked up off of Blue Ridge Comics last year at Toylanta. So I may use that, or this one. I'm gonna see about the one coming with the Fortress of Fangs box. And then this one will be part of the Fortress of Fangs for sale. As you can see, this is a nice one, but it's got a little tear there on the back dungeon sticker and then on the lava. So I will have a Fortress of Fangs for sale. I mean, technically I have one now, so it'll have everything but 2 stones So let me know in the comments if you're interested in getting a pretty nice, ready for display Fortress of Fangs. You'll have one. But so, yeah, and then we're not going to get into what's going on back there. Nothing really is going on back there. So as far as where we are going to leave off for now, I'm waiting for the new Tiamat to come in and the Fortress of Fangs box. And the next time we talk, we'll have those here. We'll take a close look. I'll also have the window levers taken off of this window and that window, and we'll see where that gets us. Updates to follow. Look what just arrived, folks. My holiest of grails, the Fortress of Fangs with a minty box. And as you can see, things are getting a bit messier in here. Before we continue on with the Fortress of Fangs and D&D stuff, I did want to update you on the window situation here. I was able to remove both levers from this window and the window that I plan to put the Fortress of Fangs box into. It's exactly what I said. It was just a Phillips head screwdriver holding in the lever. I don't think that I'm going to put the Karate Kid box here. I don't think I'm going to do it. It's just, looking at it further, I just don't like the height. It's too tall for this box, for this window insert. It's just too tall. So I have other ideas for this, but it's just too tall. Whereas the Fortress of Fangs box, that will be, I think that should fit nicer because it's longer, like wider than it is tall. And we'll have the toy line right below it. I think that this whole wall here is going to be a perfect opportunity to make very colorful and bright and full of the fantasy art that I have, that I love. So I'll have the Fortress of Fangs box in there, the playset below it, Tiamat next to it, and then 2 art pieces on both of these walls. So this will be a nice, colorful corner and wall that will flow and make sense, and it'll be themed. You know, there's not that many opportunities here, not as many as you'd think, for me to put art on these walls without stuff looking cluttered and busy. You know, if we look at the Firehouse, that's too big. I wouldn't put anything behind that. I'm looking for the box for the Kraken, so if anyone knows or has leads on that, let me know. That third Fortress of Fangs, that's the one that just came in. That is for sale. That's obviously not going there. I'm putting my Hamilton Hulk there. I will be putting a poster, framed poster there. And then Tally Toy Chest, obviously no reason to put anything behind that. No reason to put anything behind the Marvel stuff. And the licensed DC Comics Batman light up is an art piece itself. So really, these 2 walls, which will get some art, and then I might put something, you know, over there below the AC unit. This is a tricky space because I can line something up on the wall with this, whatever I wind up putting there, but it's not centered with these windows. That would bother me, so I don't really think I put anything there. But I'm really, you know, we're focusing on this part of the wall and this section right here, and I think that the plan is going to be a good one. It's starting to feel like it's going to come together, so also pretty cool. Fortress of Fangs instructions. Did want to show you guys that. And the sticker sheet, what's left of it. So this is going back in the box. I might look to frame that. I might frame it. It's actually in really great shape still too. I might frame that, we'll see. But anyway, next steps, I need to attach that to that. This is the base we are going to go with, the same base that was a part of the room tour. I just wound up swapping out the top, which we already went into. I need to close that up. I also bought, for these, I bought rubber stoppers because I don't want it, you know, if it's going to brush up or sit against whatever I put up here, I don't want it to possibly scratch or damage the box or whatever it is, plastic, whatever's right behind it. So I did order rubber stoppers from, or vinyl caps, I should say. Vinyl caps from Amazon. They should be coming tomorrow. And so we'll pop those on there, see how they look. So the next time we chat, it will be, should be tomorrow. And the 18th. And we'll have some vinyl caps on there. I should have the Fortress of Fangs box in place. And some of this other stuff in place as well. This is the, for comparison, maybe we'll do a little side by side. You guys already saw that, but saw this box, but maybe we'll do a little side by side comparison with both boxes. But I mean, you've seen them both now, plenty in this video. You can see how clean this one is compared to the other one. Amazing. So, like I mentioned, the next time we chat, this section should be in place and we'll see how it looks. Updates to follow. What's up, you guys? It is a couple of days later here. It's April 19th, Friday. I did not get a chance to sneak down here yesterday, but the vinyl caps that I mentioned to you a few days ago that I was looking to purchase for these windows, they have arrived from Amazon. It's just a variety pack of all different vinyl caps, shapes and sizes. I have enough vinyl capping now to for the rest of my life. I have not yet tried to fit any of this stuff, any one of them, onto the exposed window piece here that was formerly holding the lever to the window in place, but we are going to do that shortly. After that, I know that I mentioned I wanted to do a quick little box comparison with the new Tiamat that arrived just 2 days ago, just to show you guys the difference in condition and quality. And then after that, we will set everything up and see how the LJN AD&D display is starting to look. So, first things first, got these caps here. So I guess it's, yeah, by bag, by size. So these are all like the ones that we're gonna try here. You can see what this looks like, and ooh, like a glove. That is perfect. I am shocked that this was so easy and fit so well. I literally just eyeballed that online. And I mean, like I said, it comes with so many shapes and sizes, but wow, that's awesome. So we will get, and it actually looks pretty good too. So I will get another one of those. I'll pop another one onto the other window where the Fortress of Fangs box is going to live. And I'm feeling pretty good about that. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to next flip the camera around. We'll take a look at the Teamot boxes, and then we will get all this stuff in place. This is truly a sight to behold. Let me get a little closer here for you guys. Look at that box art. This is by far and away my favorite box ever made for a toy, Fortress of Fangs. And here are the Teamot boxes. This one here on the left is the new one, and the one on the right is the one that I've had. You can already see, look how clean the lettering is on the one on the right. I mean the one on the left, sorry, compared to the one on the right. You could see on the one on the right where the water damage on Teamot 5-headed evil dragon, the lettering, the font there, you can see the difference in both. You could even see just the general color difference on both of these boxes, and they're both nice. I will say that. I cleaned up the one on the right a lot. I wiped a ton of dirt and grime off it. And the colors pop on both, really. But even you could see from this angle the warping with the old one compared to the new one. It's hard to tell here, but this guy is like warped from the water damage. Tell a little bit more from the side, I guess, but you know, as you can see, compare that to this, it's night and day. Pretty crazy, if you ask me. Okay, so we are going to get all of this stuff in place and wrap up toy room update numero uno. Okay guys, before we go and take a look at the display, I do need to hook up my Fortress of Fangs here. I'm showing you this because I at first struggled with getting dust out of that crevice there between the gold and the rock base. There was a good amount of it in there and it was bugging the crap out of me. Obviously I could get to everything in the base pretty easily once I took the top off. So I was able to gently wipe down the stickers here and get into all these other parts and areas of the base that I couldn't before, including this treasure chest. The treasure chest is 2 pieces. I could take that off, but the gold here that the chest sits on is pegged into the base of the playset and it's impossible to get out without breaking it. So I did want to attempt to get that dust. So what I did was I took some Q-tips, found a decent example, and flattened them out almost to the shape of a flathead screwdriver, keeping the firmness of the Q-tip enough where it wouldn't bend and buckle once I slipped it in between in the crevice here. And that worked. Soaked it with some rubbing alcohol, a couple of swipes, a couple of Q-tips, and as you can see, that gold pile is pretty shiny all around now. So just wanted to share that with you guys in case anyone has this playset and struggles with a very dusty base. This whole piece was covered in dust. This thing was white when I received it. As you can see, the stickers and everything are fantastic, but it just needed a deep clean. So just thought I'd share that with you guys. And yeah, time to fully assemble this thing and get it in its forever home. Okay guys, this is what we have here. As the final part of this update, the end result of all of our work. As you can see, we were able to really maximize space on this display stand, more so than I had planned for at the beginning of this update video. And I don't believe we have sacrificed the display in any way. I think if anything, we've enhanced it. So I'm very happy with how this came out. We've got the Hook Horror here, guarding the jail. The Bronze Dragon, which is a really nice copy, by the way. Anyone who collects this line, you know how tough this can be to find nice. This is very bronze and the saddle is very white. It came with some dirt spots on it, but I was able to get that out with, most of that out with rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip carefully. And then we have Tiamat here. We were going to put Tiamat on her own display, but I had in my mind that it would look really cool to kind of put all the big evils together and have her flying up top next to the Fortress of Fangs. So that's what we did. I bought a clear acrylic 7-inch riser, and I think it's the perfect fit. I think this looks really good, and I will more than likely add a couple of figures, not too many. I don't want to make it too busy. Really just want to showcase the big pieces here. But I'll probably put Kellic right in between the eyes casting a spell. I'm sure I'll put Elkhorn somewhere since he's small. And if you pan out a bit, you can see we've got not 1 but 2 boxes in this window. The Fortress of Fangs box and the Tiamat box. Originally, we were going to put the Tiamat box over here on a work in progress display stand and have the Fortress of Fangs here. And we were going to put the Tiamat box the way I originally had it behind Tiamat, but as I was fitting the Fortress of Fangs into the window, I was like, wait, I feel like this could be enough room to fit the Tiamat box in as well. Brought it over, fit like a glove, absolutely perfect. So the way I have it, Fortress of Fangs lines up with the Fortress of Fangs box and Tiamat lines up with the Tiamat box. Makes sense to me. Got some beautiful box art up against that wall, and eventually we will have some more beautiful art donning these walls. I also thought it was a nice idea to have the bronze dragon here because as a kid, I always enjoyed recreating the dios and the art box with my toys. And the bronze dragon, as you can see, is in the bottom left-hand corner of this box. So I thought it would be cool to have that all together. And not only that, but if I turned out happy with this display, which I am, it is saving me a lot of space. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And that, folks, is going to wrap it up for the very first toy room update here on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We are just barely scratching the surface with setting up our LJN AD&D collection, but as you can see, we've got the meat and potatoes of this display set up now, and I am very happy with how it's starting to turn out. Let me know in the comments below what you think of all of the display decisions that were made here in this video, the thought process that we went through to get to this point. I'm always curious to know everyone's thoughts and opinions. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.